Hello everybody, I am Omega Recon Gaming, and it's probably been a long time since you've seen me in person, but here I am. It's 2026 already, and I know this video is late, but I had to finish off the games I wanted to play last year. It was an interesting year for video games, not a good one though. The Switch 2 came out, which, you know, comprises most of this list, but outside of the Switch, Sony was really sandbagging this year. I think, they brought their A game other years. Hopefully this year they'll bring it back up. And of course, Microsoft is Microsoft. But honestly, Microsoft might have Fable next year, and that might be actually interesting to play. We'll see. But this year's list was terrible. Like, when I looked at it, I was just like, man, this might be the first list I have multiple 7 out of 10s on. That's bad. Usually maybe on a medium year, I get maybe 1, if that. But this year, I got 3. So, here we go. Here's my top 5. Yeah, top 5 this year. Games of 2025. Starting from number 5. Mario Kart World. Not much to say on this game. It was a very solid game. A lot of good cards, a lot of good characters to play. The stages are fun. But the only big negative is the game eventually burns itself out. But, it is fun for a good long while. So, as I said, nothing much to say. It's just good fun. It was a good idea. It just doesn't have the staying power like certain other games in the Mario Kart series do. Number 4, Octopath Traveler 0. Another good game, 7 out of 10. It has a bunch of good things. The story was good, in parts. The gameplay was good. But there was just things that would just knock it down a peg. Like, it had very unsatisfactory endings for a lot of things, for a lot of stories. I think maybe one was really sad. The only one was the playwriting story was the only really satisfying ending. Even the king, even killing him was not that satisfying. In the moment it was satisfying, but, as I'm thinking about it afterwards, I was like, yeah. But yeah, it's a good Octopath game, but it's definitely probably the weaker one in the series. It's also confusing time-wise in the big picture. Don't know. It's supposed to be a prequel, but there's a lot of inconsistency, like Tress wanting to travel, but she doesn't want to travel until the start of Octopath 1. So, weird. Anyway, so let's move on to number 3. And a surprising game that was not on my radar until I stumbled upon it. Beyblade X Evo Battle. This is a game I bought on a whim because I didn't know it was coming out. I actually just got into Beyblade X, and I played the last year's version of the Beyblade chronology, and then I played this one, and another 7 out of 10. I liked it. It's a good Beyblade game. Probably the best Beyblade game I've already played, which is really sad when you think about it, because a lot of the Beyblade games suck. Especially the ones on GBA. Those ones are so bad. But this one, this is the one where I think they're finally getting it. Like, they're finally finding a way to make it the game more alive. And that's great. And that's what we want from a Beyblade game, is to make it feel like you're actually, you know, controlling the Beyblade in like some degree, not completely. It still moves like a little random, but you can a little control it. So it makes it feel is that you're still in control and you're not just watching Tops spin around. I like a lot of the things in the game. I like the parts mechanic. It's very interesting. The story is extremely forgettable. I can't even lie. But you know, it's Beyblade. I'm not expecting Shakespeare. You know, I'm looking for a good game, and that's what the game gave me. A good game, despite the story being bad. It's just good fun. If you can get it on a sale, I recommend it, especially if you're into Beyblade. Especially with the newer mechanics, it's a lot. You got X finishes, which is extreme finishes, and then you got burst finishes. Like if you haven't played Beyblade in a long time, Beyblades can break now, like intentionally, which is fun. I actually really like that. Because that was like a big no-no in like the original shows, but now it's a mechanic that you can just burst your opponent's Beyblade, and it's add a lot of fun, you know, and it makes it really satisfying when you hit them and it just shatters into pieces. Of course, you can put it back together, but it's really satisfying to watch. And then they do a fun thing within the game, having a burst gauge. But yeah, it's quite fun. Yeah, for a Beyblade game to reach number 3 on my list, you know, great. I'm happy. I hope they keep going in this direction and keep making more Beyblade games, you know, because I love Beyblade. I've loved Beyblade since I was a kid, and I'm still a decent fan now. So, who knows? Also, the show's pretty good. Time for number 2. This is our first very good rating, which is an 8 out of 10. That goes to Pokemon ZA. Now, ZA here is a remake-ish type deal, but like with a new story. It's like the other games in the Legend series. It's Gen 6. They add more Mega Evolutions, which is great. They gave one to Dragonite, which, thank you. But they didn't give one to Flygon. Like, out of all the ones they didn't give to, just give one to Flygon. You gave one to Salamence, you gave one to Dragonite, you gave one to... It's just so irritating. They even gave Lucario another one, which I get because, you know, Lucario's like the face of Mega Evolutions. It's just frustrating. Because, like, I see it. Like, it's just there. And it's just, and the fans wanted it. Like, you know, maybe the creators didn't want it especially, but, like, it's what the fans wanted. Like, if you're gonna, like, go back and, like, that was the biggest thing. Why didn't they give Flygon a Mega? And then it's just a thing they never did. And then this was their chance. And then they just completely... They could still do it in, like, DLC, you know. But by this point, probably not. But there's always a chance. So, let's move on. Oh, wait, I didn't even talk about the game. So, I liked a lot about the things about this game. I liked how I was able to get the Pokeballs back to me. Like, let's say I missed because of my terrible aim, I could just go to the Pokeball guy, and he would just give me them back. Now, if I really like that, because, you know, sometimes you're panicking, and you're just, and you're just throwing them all out there. I just really appreciate that mechanic. I really do like the plus mechanic, the plus moves. They they did a terrible job of explaining that, which is crazy considering the opening hour of the game is an entire tutorial, unskippable. It's egregious. It genuinely, honestly, knocked a point off the game's score because of how awful it was. I would genuinely not be surprised if people stopped playing after that, like, first hour. Like, because I considered it. It was rough. It made me mad. It still makes me mad. But if you can get by that, and the fact that some of the stuff in the game aren't completely explained properly, which also makes me mad. There are other problems like platforming controls, and and the difficulty for like certain bosses are ridiculous. But besides that, like, I love the story. I like the characters. I like, the new Mega Evolutions. I just in general just like my journey through the game. The music, the how the game looks. I liked it all. But its flaws. I heavily considered knocking it down to a 7, but after heavy debate, I kept going. So I decided I liked it enough where I think I'll give it the 8. It had enough goodwill for me that I don't like the donut mechanic in the DLC. It's really weird. Like, I guess bringing Hoopa back is fine. Nobody likes it, but whatever. I still haven't finished the DLC, and I need to do that. But I think I'm confident in scoring the game, by itself. So, 8 out of 10. I definitely recommend a rent if you're a Pokemon fan. You could even buy it. I could even see, even not on sale. It's a very good game. It's very well worth the price. But, yeah. It's an extremely solid Pokemon entry. Probably the first in a while. I mean, Scarlet and Violet I didn't like that much, but that game is okay. Had a lot of problems. So, here's number 1, Kirby Air Rider. This made me so happy. You don't understand. I loved the original Kirby Air Ride for the GameCube. I have so many memories of that. And then I was like, oh! And then when they announced the game, they're adding stuff to the GameCube, I was like, oh, maybe they'll add Air Ride. And then they announced, boom, Kirby Air Riders. I flipped because I love Kirby Air Ride. And this is Kirby Air Ride, but better. It does a lot of things better. The vehicles all control pretty well. Most of them, even I like a lot of the new ones. I liked how they expanded the stages. I liked how they added some new ones. I liked the story mode. It's a little repetitive, and I could see somebody thinking, it's how do I put this nicely? It's definitely something you want to have something on in the background where you're like listening to something while you're doing it. It's a really tedious, but I enjoyed it. It's one of those times where something tedious but doesn't bother me. But I liked its payoff, and you get some nice stuff for unlocking it. You get new legendary vehicles, which, let's go! And they're really cool. One is as big as the stadium itself, and it's just a world ender, and it's real fun. Gigantus! Yeah, it's just an extremely good time. It's why I gave it a 9 out of 10. My one big gripe is that you do run out of things to do, like, relatively quickly, and I think the price is too high. It should have been $40 to $50, not max price. That's insane. But other than that, I really enjoyed it. So, yeah, that's the list. Not much to say on this year's list, but there were some bright spots in this awful year. But thank you guys for watching, and I hope you continue to keep watching. Let's hope next year's even better. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.